The town of Cresson.
The Lemon House was established by Samuel Lemon. The Lemon House served passengers on the Allegheny, Pennsylvania Railroad and provided food and lodging for the passengers. Samuel Lemon had come to the mountains in 1831 and built the Log Summit Tavern along the pike. This was an ideal stop for wagoners, but the project was short-lived because the Allegheny, Pennsylvania Railroad came through his land. A year later, Lemon was quick to construct the stone building for the benefit of the Allegheny, Pennsylvania Railroad travelers. The Lemon House has become a museum and part of the National Allegheny, Pennsylvania Railroad Historic Site.
Another landmark in Cresson is the Pennsylvania State Sanatorium built on 500 acres of land donated by Andrew Carnegie. It was built on January of 1913 for the care of patients with tuberculosis. The sanatorium had a patient capacity of 750 with 230 beds for children in need of hospital care. The fresh mountain air was considered to be essential to combat tuberculosis. Other buildings in the sanatorium included a huge kitchen where meals were prepared for the patients by Cresson citizens. Others included the amusement hall where films were played in a chapel for any Catholic, Jewish, or Protestant believers. Sadly, the patients that did not recover and died were never taken back to their families and were buried in a hill near the sanatorium. The sanatorium closed for patients in 1964.
1908, the main line of the railroad is responsible for Cresson becoming a successful resort. Tracks were laid for branch lines to remote mountain settlements as shown in the background. The original Pennsylvania Railroad station in Cresson is located at the foot of the mountain house, which made Cresson accessible to vacationers. In 1910, the new Cresson station was relocated and sits between the eastbound and westbound tracks. It was then reached by underground passageways. The Cresson High Bridge, which is located along Route 53 between Cresson and the Gallitzin Railroad, was carved through the mountain like a canyon. Cresson still has a functioning railroad today, and many tourists come to take pictures.
The Mountain House grounds are the most famous part of Cresson. Built in 1880, a grand hotel was built by the Pennsylvania Railroad Company. Guests loved the purity of the air on the mountain. The resort housed more than 200 guests, and the cottages nearby also was home for hundreds in the summer. Some of the cottages were home to William Thaw, a famous banker, and Benjamin F. Jones, an economist. Andrew Carnegie had a cottage which still stands today, is now named Braemar, which is Scottish for on the hill above the spring. Also, President Benjamin Harrison stayed in the resort. He gave a speech to over 1,000 veteran Union Army soldiers from a balcony in the Mountain House. The famous building was designed by Wilson Brothers and Company. It was a 5-story wood frame building with 4 main peaks. The overall cost of the building was $90,000, which today is nearly $20 million. Even though the railroad was still booming, the hotel lost nearly $13,000, which is close to $320,000 today. Therefore, the Mountain House was destroyed in 1916.
St. Francis Xavier Church was built in 1908. The expenses of the church was $25,000, which is equivalent to $820,000 today. In 1913, the first pastor of St. Francis Xavier Church was Father Graven. He became a resident of Cresson shortly before he became the pastor. A few years later, a rectory was built on church grounds. In 1923, the St. Francis Xavier School was established and began classes in January of 1924, which is now All Saints Catholic School.
Veterans Park was established in 1972. The park was made in honor of veterans in the Cresson area. The recreational area consists of a softball field and many other activities for children. The park is set on 15 acres. The newest addition to the park is a pickleball court, which is a trending game for people of all ages.
The Cresson Feed Mill specializes in feeds for livestock and domestic animals. They carry a wide variety of products to supply your farm, ranch, homestead, and other small-town lifestyles. They have custom-milled feed for horses, chickens, dogs, cats, pigs, goats, and more. They operate out of their first original building. The feed mill has been in business for over 100 years. There are lots of other people in the county that use the feed mill other than the townspeople of Cresson.
The Summit Country Club is a beautiful golf course on Cresson Mountain. The course was originally only 9 holes when it was founded in 1923, but later became an 18-hole golf course in 1968. The course is known for its beautiful scenery, along with how difficult it is to play. The original 9 holes was arranged to be the new back 9. Ed Alt, along with his crew, cut out and designed the new front nine in prestige fashion so players of all skill abilities could play. Over the years, the course has had some excellent pros. The local high school Penn Cambria calls the course home, along with the Mount Aloysius golf team. This year, the course celebrates its 100-year anniversary. What do you like about Cresson?
I like the fact that Cresson is a small town. It's safe to raise a family. Also, it's close to a major highway, which allows you to travel easily in and out of town and makes it attractive to other people to come here. It has nice businesses, and it's a great place to live through the 4 seasons of the year.
Why did you pick to live in Cresson?
Well, I was born and raised here, first of all, but I always liked the town and the people here growing up, and as I became an adult, I had the opportunity to gain employment at Summit Country Club, which kept me here, and I couldn't be more happy with the decision I made. It's a beautiful place to work, and it's a good business there.
What are some of your favorite things about Cresson?
Well, the fact that we're located in an area that has a college and a university within 4 miles of our town, and there's a very good school district. It's a great place for people to raise a family, and with those schools being around, it's a very good place that you can further your education well. There's businesses here that you can acquire employment, and again, it's easy travel distance from two nearby cities, Altoona and Johnstown in western PA here, so it's just a great mountain setting to live, and again, we're close to a lot of businesses, which makes it an attractive place to want to live and visit.